Hi. Okay, so we were in this town, and somebody tried to kill Brieg while he was sleeping, and instead he threw them through a wall. And then he had this idea that it was probably the guy that he told him that he wouldn't identify the stuff, and then he identified all the stuff anyway. So we went to go wordy sneak attack him. Just Brieg and I went. And when we got there, Brieg said, listen, don't do any of the talking because it will be like Harbeck trying to sneak up on somebody, so you just let me talk. And so I did. And then he just asked the guy anyway, did you try to kill me? And the guy said, yeah, because you breached our contract. And so then we tried to stab him, but he jumped in a closet. And then we went back. Oh, we stole his wand. And then we went back to talk to Harbeck to find out if it really was okay for him to kill Brieg. And Harbeck said, yeah, but I'm going to write some papers, and then we'll make it not okay for him to kill Brieg, and then we can have all of his stuff. The end.
Okay.
That's my understanding of what went down.
I mean... From a perspective, that's basically what went down. Yeah, I think we can work with that. All right, so we have
you can
determined
totally
that...
identify that wand because it's yours now.
Yeah. My Adam. Ring of identify. Except I think that he might have cursed my ring while he was playing with it so that he knows every time I use it or something. So I'm gonna wait until we figure that out before I do anything.
Why? We get 500 gold every time we kill his thugs. You should identify all the stuff.
This is just like farming now. It's XP farming and gold farming.
It's like
so,
the best part is we don't even have to kill his thugs. They die off camera while your inner god protects you from them. It's perfect. This is a racket.
Just stay here. We just wake up. Identify the street lamp. This street lamp looks like it's magical.
We just wake up every morning with 100 more XP and 500 gold. What just happened?
Best interest at ever. So you've determined that if Harbeck writes a contract, a dwarven contract, stating that the four of you, not including Gargintius, who doesn't want to sign it.
I don't know about this.
It may be that he would be willing to sign it to join the group, but the fact he's not on it yet is important to our continuity.
Yeah.
To our con.
So... Yeah, continuity. Just con. You can shorten that to con. And so the four of you are going to sign it stating that Brieg is the quartermaster of the group and technically owns all of the items and lends them out to the rest of the party. Is that correct?
Yes. And there may also be some verbiage about the eventuality that somebody leaves the group and how they may take ownership of their thing. Like it's all... Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very complete contract. Okay. All right, I understand. Tabrin, you've spent some time in your room. You've done the thing that you wanted to do. You've gotten what you wanted out of it. And you come back out to hear quite a verbose, loud, heated discussion about how Harbeck is about to give Brieg control of everything and be a quartermaster, and you don't know why. You have no idea what's going on at this stage.
What?
Let me try to sum up. It turns out that the people that tried to kill me were because I was technically in breach of contract that I signed when I found out that I owned a ring of identify. You weren't in breach of contract, he was.
Harbeck goes back to writing.
The originator of the contract believed that I was in breach of contract after having identified the items that we acquired.
Allegedly! Say allegedly a lot!
Anyway, in order to make it so, we're trying to avoid a blood feud that will result in either repeated attempted murders or
allegedly,
other terrible alleged blood feud things. We're going to establish that I am, in fact, the quartermaster of the... You can read the contract. I think it will all make sense. But that's why we're doing it, is to avoid a potential blood feud with somebody here in the town.
So, by contract, you want me to say you own everything I have?
Right, but you'll notice that there's a line in there that says that at any time, if you choose to leave the party, that you get to make sole decisions about the use of those items as long as they're in your possession. And should you decide to leave the party, ownership of the items reverts back to you after a group discussion. It's all in there.
It's not
I don't
everything you
believe that.
own. It's only the things that you acquired during adventuring activities. Basically, like the one thing from the treasure room is basically what it covers.
Right, I think it will all make sense, and I'm hoping that this will
All
avoid
items gifted by
significant-
dwarven princesses that are currently owned by the quartermaster.
This is strangely specific.
So basically, Brig has become like treasure triage. He gets the
Here's the
treasure
deal.
and he divvies it up.
Here's the deal. You figured out who came after you. Great. You got what you wanted. I sign this. We leave town immediately.
If
Well,
immediately means in like
is-
5 days while we wait for the prince to get better.
No, immediately means immediately.
Well, as I assume we want to take Gargantius when he gets back. I think we can
Right.
leave. Would you like to tell us why that's important?
We want to sit around in a town where someone wants to kill you and get you into legal trouble with a dwarven contract that you presume is going to make everything just fine, and you're going to put my life on the line as well as everyone else's in the party because you merely want to get more reward from the prince that may or may not talk to us in 5 days while the rest of the world is falling apart.
Yep, I vote for Tavern as leader.
Really smart.
Oh.
We leave.
You made a point there that may not... The rest of us won't be in trouble. We
Right,
didn't
no,
breach
why would
Brig's
we
other
not?
contract. Whether or not this holds up, which it will,
You
we
think
won't
that
be.
by Brig getting attacked doesn't put us in harm? I don't want Brig dead. So yes, that does put my life in danger because we will be protecting him. There's no telling every time he gets attacked that his godly ego is going to come out and save him.
That's like the most noble, selfish thing you've said. I'm very confused. It's like I can't. Okay.
I mean, you're right. We accomplished one of the goals for staying. The other goal is entirely selfish and and monetary. So it's not of much import. I'm happy leaving as soon as Gargantius gets back.
Do you remember
he
the
went,
part that we
I
don't
believe,
know where
to
we're
check on the
going?
prince?
That was the other reason we were waiting. Was so we
Right.
would know where we were
No,
going.
We're
Speaking
getting
of which,
through.
Gargantius.
I sneeze
because
somewhere
by this time,
while I'm walking.
You've had time to do what you're going to do and come back, I imagine. So we'll quickly play out your stuff because you might have input here. Right, so you head to the keep in the center of town to check on the prince and see how he's doing. You're met at the gate by a familiar guard. You've seen him before. He's let you through in to see the prince before, in fact. He says, it's Gargantius. What can we do for you?
Is the prince awake?
No, but he's healing. He's not receiving
Rats.
visitors.
Rats, I was just here to check up on him.
Okay. He's doing much better.
Can you, do you know how long he would be? Like, does it look like he's gonna be a week, a few days?
We can't tell.
Alright, would it be possible to send word, when he's awake? I have business, but it's not urgent.
Sure, we can let him know that you came.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess I'll head back to town. You boys have a nice day.
And you will return to the inn around about the time that everybody is having the discussion that they're going to be leaving immediately.
Hey guys, guess what? He's not awake yet. But I did check up. They said that he was healing. I didn't really necessarily get any good information, but I checked up on him. What's
perfect.
up here? You guys, what is Harbeck writing?
He's writing a goodbye letter.
What?
We're packing up and we're heading out.
What did you guys do?
Well, it's just that Tavern.
It's a fair question.
Tavern aptly pointed out that our waiting around was a fairly selfish act. So we're going to go ahead and get started heading towards the ruins of Flagra.
So we don't want to wait for the prince.
We'll almost certainly pass back through here on our way back from the ruins.
I really feel like waiting for the prince, our apt reward is going to be him thanking us and being, thank you
I actually
for
have some kind of weird plan where he would maybe give us a boat so that we can go around the mountains instead of through them.
You were going to ask a dwarven prince for naval support. You grew up here, right?
Dwarves?
I mean, there's trading going on. It doesn't have to be a dwarven ship.
New plan. No. We're relying on my memory of the map, and we're headed through the mountains.
I like this.
You
plan.
guys seem very rushed to leave town. Something definitely happened.
I spent the last 4 hours in my room, and I have had contact with one of the old gods. He's dying.
Wait, what?
He needs to be found, and we need to get through the mountains.
So, my previous point about 3,000 years and urgency, we have some evidence that is perhaps not correct, and there is perhaps some urgency.
Okay.
You probably should have said that first.
Thing.
Hey, Girgintius, if you want to join us, I've just been copying our old adventuring contract, and I've added a blank for you to sign if you'd like.
What does this entail?
Well, you can read it. You're well versed in dwarven legal systems.
Can you? Is this done?
It's a relatively simple thing. It just as a way to manage any riches, items, treasures that we may come across as we're adventuring as a party.
Wait a minute. It says here, all of my stuff belongs to Brieg?
No, read it again. Everything that we find as we are adventuring, belongs to me until such a time as read the whole thing.
It's fine. Just sign it.
The whole thing is, I'm kind of weird about. Wouldn't that have something to do with attunement? Like, I can't attune the items because it's not mine or something like that?
Oh, no, finish reading. Read the bit at the end when the party disperses. You gain ownership of the items. It's just during the time that we're adventuring together. So
the gist of this is, whenever we're in town, Brieg owns all the items. And when we're not in town, we own our own items.
Basically, everything is technically Brieg's in only a very technical way, because it is prudent for that to be the case.
Roll an intelligence check for me, please.
because it is prudent for that to be the case.
Allegedly.
Okay.
You'll need one intelligence and then you'll need an insight. Okay.
Oh, wow, I am not very smart.
Okay. Or very insightful. Look,
Gergintius signed the contract. Period.
The jargon that's been written the jargon that's been written, you don't fully understand it, right? But you get the general gist that it's not a bad contract. You know, it's designed so that loot is shared evenly amongst the party, and you get to keep everything that's ever given to you, so you don't have to worry about that. And you know, the guys, they're being honest, they're being straightforward. It's a fair contract that's designed to help everybody in the party, and you feel comfortable that signing it would be a good idea.
And when the
One last
DRS
thing
comes to
before I sign
audit,
this.
Brig is in trouble.
Okay, I was about to ask the important question to Din because I can probably tell if she's lying.
Okay.
Din, what did you guys do today?
We went and talked to a guy, and we didn't stab him because he jumped through a hole in his closet.
What?
We went and sneaky talk attacked a guy, but we didn't stab him because he jumped through a hole in his closet.
Okay,
Perhaps
so
I can
you
clarify.
tried to kill presumably a dwarf.
No, we
Then
didn't
kill
kill
anyone.
Now
him.
I'm trying to sign something.
He was in breach of contract.
Looks like we definitely have to leave town. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the ass. I sign the letter and I'm like, I'm kind of regretting it.
Is it a magic contract? Can it bite things?
No,
That's not a magic contract.
It's a figure of speech, then. A figure of speech.
It's a good thing that Gergintius doesn't know the full gist of the story, because he wouldn't be okay with signing it, but given how much he knows right now, he's signing it.
Really, it really doesn't even matter.
Not really. Not really. I'm sure, like, if Brig wanted to be a real, like, jerk about it all, he could find some treasure and then just, divvy it up so that it was all his, and then technically he would own it all, and
Right,
that would not be a breach of the contract.
But this
There would
party's
probably
been working with no contract at all for months.
yeah.
As far as
They're
I'm
probably-
concerned, I don't know that.
Yeah. There is probably some loophole that Bree could find to be a jerk, but it's unlikely that will happen, so we're not going to worry about it.
All right, so we're
We chose
leaving.
Breek because
Oh,
he's
okay.
the least jerk of us. And definitely not because he would be in legal trouble
so-
otherwise. Allegedly.
Yeah. That had nothing to do with it.
Alleged legal trouble.
Allegedly. Okay, so you're going to be setting out again.
So
You've
it's
got all
like
of your
midday,
supplies.
right? We can just
you've
go now.
managed to acquire. Yeah, it's like lunchtime. You can head out after a feed at the pub. One last
Tonight-
dwarven beverage in a dwarven pub before you settle out.
Tonight, can I write like a letter to Thorum saying like, "Hey, we're bouncing. I hope you get better. If you get better, this is where we're going. If you want to like, I don't know, send help or whatever. Not help, but like a guide or I don't know,
Please send help.
some kind of wording like that." And then I send the letter.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that just before you leave. You don't have a lot of time, but you can write a letter that'll basically say, "Hey, we're headed to the ruins of Flagra, and if you could send a guide that direction, that would be amazing."
Cool.
I'm going to swing by the shop because I don't want to leave a
Yep.
copy of our contract on this guy's counter. I want to talk to him and
And the
show it to
500
him.
gold in the dead bodies.
Okay.
And so, I just hope he's there. He's probably not back yet
He is not.
because he left in a hurry.
He's not there.
it might be a good
and you've never been there before, and I imagine you're going there alone with the contract. Is that the?
That's, yeah, I'm just going to
plan?
talk to him dwarf to dwarf and say, Brig didn't understand the right way to explain that he does own all the items, and here's our contract and whatever.
Okay, you get there and you find the place is basically you've seen the inside of a Magister's hut before. There's paperwork everywhere and weird oddities scattered around the room. All you see is some barren furniture.
Oh.
That's all that's in there. Just
Scared
barren
me good.
furniture. No scrolls, no paperwork, nothing. It's all gone.
then
Ever so.
I leave the note.
That's a Twitch chat thing for those on YouTube.
I leave the note I prepared that explains that we have a contract and he was technically in breach for trying to kill Brieg and leave the explanation on the counter, I guess, and go. And if we have to come back in here and someone wants to get us in trouble, we have our contract now and we can show it to them.
All right. You're going to set it out. So you get to the exits, the cave exits, which will lead you under the mountains. I believe that Tabern was going to try and lead the way this time around.
Mm-hmm.
So Tabern, you spend some time trying to memorize the map, the locations of all the twisting and turning passages under the mountain. Go ahead and you're going to want to roll me a wisdom? No, intelligence from memory. Intelligence check.
Intelligence check. Okay.
Yes.
Well, unskilled.
Yes. Hey.
You rolled those backwards.
Okay. What? Yeah, you got them. You rolled the wrong number first. Everybody always rolls the wrong number first in this party. Have you noticed that? It's
Yeah.
recurring.
I'm convinced roll 20 sorts that smallest to
regular
highest.
So, you're reasonably confident you know the way. It's a similar direction to the way Gargintius went, but there's some twists and turns that you're probably going to have to take instead. So the party sets out then into the caves and heading deep underground. So how is the party going to travel? Are you going to push yourselves? Are you going to be camping at night? Is there anything in particular you're keeping an eye out for?
I'm going as fast as Tabern goes.
Yeah, I think we're
I
basically...
am allowing him to set the urgency of this travel.
I think we're basically, following Tabern's lead on how quickly his god is dying.
Yeah, so our journey to the ruins of Flagra is it's like 100+ miles, right? This is not a short walk.
Mm-hmm.
No. The ruins of Flagra is quite some distance. The problem with getting to the ruins of Flagra, from what you understand, is that you're probably looking at like 4 or 5 days to get under the Leranos Mountains, right? And they're twisty, windy passages. It's, a good chunk of your journey. Then you're looking at probably another 6 days to get to the ruins of Flagra, because you're going to have to cross through the forests, head through the Valley of Mists, which... you found a little bit of information on in the Dwarven Kingdoms. Apparently it's a place of perpetual fog. It can be difficult to navigate. It's quite marshy. And then you're also going to have to cross the straits into the ruins of Flagra, unless you want to travel around the straits. And I don't know how you intend to cross, but
What is
Well,
that?
apparently it's only
What's that swampy looking
apparently
at?
it's
Like
only
this?
16 feet. So.
What does that word say? The drag. No.
Yes.
I don't think I
Dragon.
want to walk across that. That sounds terrible.
That sounds like a steep canyon.
Dragnall. Yeah, that does not sound like a happy thing. So I was just going to suggest this is going to be like probably 2 weeks of marching. We don't want to push ourselves too hard to take it. I mean, at a brisk, but
Right.
Not overly.
I mean,
But-
we have animal companions
But
that can't
smart
move that.
pace.
Yeah. Be smart about how fast we move. That's all.
Okay. I also want to point out, for like Brieg's benefit, well, not for Brieg's benefit, for Brieg's detriment, that once you cross under the Leranos Mountains, you enter a wild area that doesn't belong to any people, but is regularly patrolled by a certain subspecies of pointy-eared humanoid.
Why?
as they like to keep the area clear of major threats to Thacon. So that's
Well, our halfling companion is perfectly friendly to them. Who's got some good halfling disguise for our gnome?
I've got.
You can disguise me as a halfling. Wait, what?
So if we see them coming, I can disguise myself.
Right. What if we don't?
Well, I guess I'll just try to keep my hood up on my cloak. You know, if they don't immediately get a view of my face, then I can do my magic before they do.
They expect us to have a dragon born with us. So we might be different enough now that could work.
Yeah. I think
possibly.
I think we'll just, I'll keep my hood up just in case, and if we're approached, I'll make myself into a halfling.
We do have Boozy the beer mule now.
Yep, you do have Boozy the beer mule. That is absolutely true. Okay, so traveling through the caves, it's reasonably comfortable going as you head through the caves. Like it's dark, it's damp. Occasionally you see something scurry or scutter, some kind of underground creature, but most things stay out of your way. Tabron, I'm going to get you to roll another intelligence check for me, please, to see if you continue to remember everything that needs to be remembered.
Certainly gonna try. No whammies, no whammies.
Double digits.
That's a good roll.
Hey.
So still rolling in the wrong order.
That's true. the low one was pretty high this time, so it's okay.
Why do you have to nitpick?
I'm just confirming my confirmation bias that they always go in the wrong order.
Well, my insight and my wisdom went in the right order.
Yeah, when you roll
that doesn't confirm my confirmation bias. We ignore those. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how human brains work. It's not like we can look back over all the statistics or anything. So, Tabern, you come to a crossroads. You were a little bit off course, but not dramatically. And there's an alternate path that you can take. You remembered it on the map, and it's fine. But you also remember markings on the map that there's a tribe of goblins that live under the mountains in this area. And so it's probably worthwhile. Like, you could backtrack a day, maybe a day and a half, to get back to a path that'll lead you away from their area and to where you need to go. Or you could continue to move forward and try to avoid them or deal with them however the party wants to deal with them, but they're definitely, it's likely that you'll come across them moving forward.
I'll bring it up to the party, and so we're a little bit off course. I know where we're at. We can lose a day and a half and avoid the goblins that lie ahead of us, or we can continue pushing forward and try to avoid or confront whatever goblins lie ahead.
You're the one that has the best intuition about how urgent our mission is. Is a day and a half worth not spending half a day slaughtering a bunch of goblins? Because really,
you're already under the assumption we're gonna kill some people. This is worrying.
Wait, you're gonna say goblins are people?
Sort of.
Come on, Gargantius. You want to kill some goblins?
You were raised by dwarves, weren't you?
Is this a Jedi mind trick?
No, not at all. We can stand back to back, and I'll smack them with this stein, and you can do swords. Yeah. Do you do swords? Whatever you do, it'll be great. We'll bond. We'll sing some dwarven battle tale songs about our prowess.
I've got a plan. Involves a little bit of trickery, a magic rope, and maybe a little bit of luck.
If the lock fails, do I get to kill goblins?
Yes.
I like the plan. Let's do it.
So I will be leading us through the portion ahead. Each of you will be bound by a magic rope, so you're not actually bound. It'll just appear as such. Brig, I'd like for you to be in the back. You have the ability to change shape occasionally, correct?
Yes. I can appear as
If
a
the
goblin
time
if you'd like.
comes that we reach goblins and they begin to talk to me, I want for you to change into a goblin, come along with the story, and these will be our 3 prisoners that we're escorting to
All right.
the... And then we are taking them to the... Is it the Fetus Forest? Just outside the mountains?
Yeah, the Phaedos Forest, just outside the mountains.
Where we will be selling them off as slaves.
So, just a reminder, the rope is not actually magical. I can probably rig something, rig some knots that will easily shake
I
loose.
was trying to inspire confidence in the others, but thank you.
Yeah, I'll say this nice and quietly so that Din doesn't hear and get all disappointed. I can probably rig some sort of knot that will easily shake loose, but it's not something that I've practiced. We'll have to. I guess we can work on it for a bit and make sure that we've got something that will work for us.
That sounds good.
Okay. So I'm gonna practice with a length of rope for a while, trying to tie a knot that will look like it's binding somebody's wrists, but that can be easily shaken free of at a moment's notice, should that need arise.
We need to make sure that any sort of weapons that we do
off
have
of your hands are really easy to shake loose. I do not know this from personal experience.
I do not want to know where your personal experience came from.
As long as you're not cinching them super tight, your thumb moves, and so it's
remind me,
ankles
Gargintius,
around your heel. That's real hard, but around your hands, you'll be fine. Just tie a crappy knot. We'll all be fine.
I was actually going to say, and this is totally in character as well. Din, you see Breed trying to tie his hands and make a knot that will easily slip loose with a rope, and ropes are a thing that you're very familiar with, intimately familiar, one might say, and so you. Yeah, I did.
What you doing then,
so you could, if you wanted to, show him a very easy way to tie a simple slip knot that would come loose.
Right. So I understand that actually binding somebody's wrists requires some work. You have to wrap the rope around the middle and stuff. But I don't want it to just be able to wiggle your hand out. I want you to be able to instantly get your hands free in case we need to fight. So that's what I'm not just slip your hands out. I want you to be able to just shake it off.
Yeah, no worries.
But Din can definitely help with that. It'll look convincing and be instantly you can get the rope off your arms if you need to. Or bam. But it does take quite some skill in tying ropes, so you can attempt to try to tie that knot. If you want, roll a survival check.
Oh, survival. Oh. Can I sleight of hands my rope? that'll probably work. I'm much better at that.
I'm
see how much better? Yeah. See how much better I am at that?
You're so much better at sleight of hand, but that doesn't help you with knowing how to tie knots. You attempt to tie a knot, and it's functional, but it doesn't look as convincing. Din ties the knot, and it looks like you've been bound by a professional, and with a flick of the wrist, the ropes uncoil and fall to the floor.
Okay, so
perfect.
Din can tie the 2 knots, and then I will tie the knot on Din's hands because it's probably hard to do to yourself. May not look quite as good, but that's okay.
It's a little tricky. There are teeth involved.
Okay. All right, you've got the ropes tied. Brig is at the back, Tabrin's in the front. Everybody else is walking in a line. Tabrin, roll a perception check.
Okie dokie. And I do have my 120 feet dark vision.
Which is why you're rolling the perception check.
Wrong
I
order
really
again.
need to learn how to roll those in the right order.
Do not look at the other rolls on the screen right now if you want your confirmation bias to survive. Just the most recent one.
Just the most recent. All right, up ahead in the darkness, and they haven't spotted you yet, there are a couple of goblins standing by an entrance to a side passage or cave that leads off the main passageway that you're currently walking through.
Is this the passage that we need to take, or we just need to walk by them not going down that passage?
You don't need to go down that passage.
Okay.
You don't need to go down that passage. But they are standing guard. It's a little unusual. Have you encountered goblins before? I don't believe you've encountered goblins on this adventure.
No, I don't think we have.
No. Okay, roll me a d20, and let's see if in the past, in any of your previous experience, you've found goblins.
Oh, I thought you meant.
Tabrin, okay. Yeah, you have encountered goblins, and there is something strange about these particular goblins. They're very well dressed. Like, very well dressed. Not in rags and loincloths and clothes. They're actually dressed in, like, a civilized manner.
That's why you're
Which is the weirdest juxtaposition that you've seen. Yeah, it's very strange.
I'm going to use message and tell Harbeck in his head, heads up, we may have some slightly more intelligent goblins than presumed, and continue forward.
Okay.
So... Okay.
After a short time walking, everybody else with dark vision is going to be able to see the goblins as well. So, Brig and Harbeck both have dark vision, I believe, and so we'll see the goblins before everybody else.
So as soon as I notice the goblins, I do my this.
Your disguised self.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I look like I kind of mimic their appearance to some extent. I look like a goblin myself.
No worries. As you approach to within the appropriate vision range of a goblin down the pathway, the one nearest to you turns and says something that you don't understand.
At which point, I will be casting Charm Person on the individuals.
Okay.
It's a great way to convince him it's okay no one speaks Goblin. I was wondering how we were getting around that with this plan.
I have a bag of tricks, I just don't have very many.
It's a small bag.
I've already took that into account.
I just like for there to be a fun way for us to start the combat encounter. You know, like it's much more fun when you try to sneak by them before you have to kill everyone. So,
Tabrin, you feel yourself slipping into the minds of the goblins almost completely unimpeded.
I request for them to remove their fine garb and
Yes,
head-
let's get naked.
We've been
And
practicing
head,
all these rope things.
head down the tunnel, and then I give those. I put on the fancy clothes as we continue moving along, and give a set to Brig in the back.
So not like,
Okay.
hey, take off your clothes, but like, hey man, that's a really nice cloak. Can I have that?
Yeah, more like that.
More like, hey man, I need to look like a stormtrooper right now.
Okay. They comply. They take off their clothes and wander into the cave mouth.
I'll leave empty flask with just like spilled mead at where they were standing.
Why would you spill that?
And
I mean, I'm a prisoner.
and move on.
Okay. Brig, you find yourself with a suit of fine, dapper goblin clothing. And Tavern, you have a suit of ill-fitting, dapper goblin clothing. But you both have that. Did you take weapons and stuff as well, or?
No.
No, you just left them there? Okay. You continue to walk past. How long does Charm Person last?
Let me double check that, because I may want to cast it a second time right as we are leaving. Let me double check the duration here.
Seems like the sort of thing that would be concentration or damage.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
It
how
is
long?
1 hour, so I will be doing it just the once. There's no concentration.
Oh,
Oh.
that's ridiculous.
Okay. Awesome. It's very strong. Okay. You continue on your way down the passage, I assume, then, after you've got the clothes on?
Yes.
Alright. You walk for an hour and know that your charm spell will have worn off by this stage. You've not encountered any more goblins on the way at all. No more side passages, nothing like that. So, what's the plan now that you're past those goblins?
Does charm result in the person knowing they have been charmed when it wears off? Some of the mind
Yes.
control things do, and some
Yes.
of them don't.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Charm
know that
does.
they've been charmed.
Okay.
But we're an hour ahead, so we just keep moving.
So as long as they're
and
not running.
we'll continue moving.
I suppose that bypassing the goblins is the wiser course, but are you not curious?
We can't even
Realize-
speak
no,
goblin-ish, whatever.
This is better than what I was wearing.
I believe the question comes down to, is the thing we're curious about, what's the chance that it pertains to the important mission that we are on that has become quite urgent?
Oh.
So that
Can-
depends entirely on what form of logic we're using. I mean, in like real life logic, chances are practically nil. But in we're the protagonists of this story logic, it seems like there's a 90% chance that they are important.
Genre savvy points. One for episode.
I'm vote the course where we don't potentially do something genocide-y, like I know you guys do a lot.
Whoa! Whoa!
We have not committed a
a
single
lot?
genocide.
I've got some issues with
Not a
it.
single
lot.
Wait,
Have we? We haven't genocided
That's accurate, right?
Okay,
any
I don't think
entire.
we've committed
the-
any
the-
genocides.
the
what about
history.
those slug things?
That's not. Those were no. Slugs don't count.
See, See?
No,
Even
they
more
were
things that I
actual
don't know
slugs. They
about.
weren't like sentient slugs or anything. They don't count.
They were chasing
How
us.
do you know they weren't sentient?
Because
I think that they've.
you can't. There's
I'm
no
not
time
sure
to be
you
guys
sentient
are
when you
only
reproduce
proving
that
my
quickly.
point.
I'm not sure that they actually existed. They may have just been some sort of magical.
Are you guys sure you're
kind
not
of
serial
goo.
killers?
We are definitely serial killers, but we have not committed any genocides.
Whether or not we've even committed any murders is subject of debate.
We've committed many killings.
Certainly,
This is
In
this is
serial.
We've killed lots
borderline
of-
psychotic.
No. When you are adventurers, you find yourself fighting evil. We've killed lots of evil things. And we've killed them in
Right.
serial, not in parallel. Well, a bit of both. But, like, serial killing is a thing, for sure. But everything that we've killed... I'm going to go back on the word everything, probably, but most of the things we've killed have been definitely certifiably evil.
All right. Well, the point
Some
remains.
of the things that we have killed.
Most.
So,
Most.
circling back around to my point, do we think it's worth it to investigate the goblins, or should we just push forward onto the ruins?
Wait, this is a you question because you're the one who thinks that we have to save all of the pieces of the world while we're trying to save the world.
I think it's a Tabarin question because he's the one who probably best understands the urgency of the situation and possibly any connection the gnomes might,
Right.
the goblins might have to it. Harbeck wouldn't have
That
said the
was
wrong word
offensive.
there. That was
I
totally
think it's
me.
a does anyone actually speak a goblin question.
Does anybody what?
Not it.
Speak goblin.
Yeah, no.
Because, I mean, we can't communicate with said goblins, even if we go
Do
there.
goblins speak common? Then
Not
we can
really.
communicate.
Well,
I
Tabarin
think
gave
that-
them instructions in common and they followed them. So
Right, a
you
typical
could
goblin doesn't
determine.
speak common, but those folks were not typical goblins. Look, I don't know that it's important.
I don't think we need to
merely
know
wanted to
anything
raise
about
the
them.
point.
Move along. We're about to be out of.
Bree, just put it in
Charm
the place
person
where you're keeping
and-
track of the vampire thing and the weird goblins, and we'll come back when we have time.
All right.
Wait,
Just log it in the mysteries that are unsolved portion of where you keep your notes.
let me process what Brig is saying here. There's definitely there's got to be an outside source aside from the goblins themselves that would lead them to such sophisticated, intelligent society. No goblins in the history of Valcia that I'm aware of have ever evolved to such nature. For this to happen, there's obviously a greater power behind it. Brig may be onto something that this may hold relation to what we're doing.
Is every mysterious thing that happens in the entire world related to the one mysterious thing that we're trying to fix?
No.
Oddly
Okay,
enough, with our
before
experience,
we go, can we make a promise? Everyone raise your right hands. I will not commit goblin genocide.
Whoa.
I'm not
What?
raising my hand.
What if we discover that
I
this
think he's-
goblin cult? We're not going to kill every goblin
Hey.
in the world. That's. I mean, I can commit to
Right.
that. But if this particular band of
Right
goblins
now,
turns out
we
to
don't
need to
know
be
that.
killed, I don't want to forswear myself from killing them because they might
Right.
need it.
And I'm willing
For the
to
greater
commit to
good.
not committing goblin xenocide.
I'm
You know, I'm not-
guessing
I'm not gonna
if
kill
we
every last
stand here
goblin.
and discuss it long enough, they will come try to genocide us, and then the decision will be made. Or we can keep going.
That's if they attack. Whatever. I give up.
It's okay. Just stay with us for a while, Girgintius. You'll understand that everyone we kill is because we had to.
Sure. I'm sure.
Usually because we stand around talking about it until they attack us.
I'm sure eventually
Speaking of
the
which,
inner
can I
psychopath
have-
in me will awaken.
Can I
If
have
anyone
a
could bring
perception check
it
from
out in you,
everybody,
it's
please?
us.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Perception checks.
Oh
All the
no, my
perception
favorite
checks.
check. I'm so good at that. Where's my mouse? I need to click on a thing.
Hey, look.
Oh.
Tavern beat the
Wrong order.
bias.
Oh, mine went in the
Did.
right order. I'm the best.
You are actually the best. Yeah. Harbeck, you feel a sense, a tremor in the ground beneath your feet, and you hear the pitter-patter of little feet
Speaking
in
of
little
genocide,
shoes. Coming from behind you.
we're not still in the rope, are we?
Yes.
No.
Yep.
You are, but
Quick,
you can very quickly not be.
everyone out of the rope.
I'm not in the rope
Quickly-
anymore. They
Didn't
can't.
I do this
create-
action, like moving my hands up? Wouldn't that have freed
No,
me?
Yes.
everyone, we're gonna create a trap. It's gonna take 2 seconds. Let's get the rope across the path, blend it in. When they get close, we pull the rope, we trip them up, I burn them all with fire.
I vote not antagonizing a group of people we haven't met yet.
They're already antagonized. Gilgintius, do you know how?
You
Uh,
guys are setting
charm magic
yourselves
works.
up
I'm gonna-
Goblins people.
to kill
caught
people.
goblins
I'm gonna-
people again.
You guys,
We don't have time
I'm
to
gonna
talk about
disappear
it.
into the wall.
Ready yourself to defend yourself. Seriously, they're here.
I'm gonna
God.
invisible magic-y belt into the wall.
gonna do
Invisible magic-y belt into the wall. And Brig is
Yep.
going to blend in as well.
Then I'm gonna do that to make the rope look like the stone that it is.
Great. I'll
hanging,
go to the other side of the wall with
foot
Brig,
off of.
so we've each got one end of the rope.
And I
Putting
will
this
use
plan into
disguise
action.
self to put me in entirely black and black skin and black eyes and just be as dark as possible to
And I
help
will
me hide
sit in
better.
the middle of the path, cross-legged, drinking from my stein.
and I'm going to stand there, cross-armed, looking up, rolling my eyes, waiting.
Okay, Din, I need a stealth check from you.
Okay.
For the hiding bit. And Tabron, I'm guessing you're technically hiding as well, so a stealth check from you, even though you're in the dark. So Din, as you think about your belt and blending into the wall, individual strands of hair of the different colors that the belt is woven from start to weave out from the belt and encase your entire body in this like multicolored mesh. And then as you find your entire body sort of covered in this incredibly fine and flexible material, the color of all of the individual strands blends in, and you literally just vanish into the wall. Just standing there, you become part of the wall. It looks really cool.
Come a chameleon. That's
Something
right.
like that. And Tabern and Brig, you take a more traditional approach to stealth and find a rock to hide behind.
Harbeck takes the Harbeck approach to stealth and lights a torch.
Okay, so you wait, and a couple of minutes later, you see 4 goblins, all wearing like fine clothes under scale mail, equipped with bladed weapons, swords, steel, not iron, and shields, come running down the corridor, and they skid to a halt about 60 feet away from Harbeck.
I casually stand up. You lads spoiling for a fight?
You don't lead in with hi.
So, where's the other one?
Which
Where's
one
the
are you
other one
talking
that played
about?
with our minds?
Oh, I haven't seen any mind wizards. But if you lads want to fight, I think I've got one in the bottom of this stein. Kick it back. Do this thing.
with your pretty red fingernails.
With your pretty red fingernails.
Tabarin casts invisibility on himself, moves toward the Stein, and makes himself visible as he pretends to exit the Stein.
Oh, you meant this guy.
The goblins form up into a tight fighting formation.
Good, they know what they're doing.
Whoa, guys. We mean you no harm. Don't listen to the dwarf.
Gargantius, if you mean them no harm, you should probably walk away now, because I definitely mean them harm, and they definitely mean us harm. Do you see that they're wearing armor now? They came here to harm us.
They got charmed. I'm sure we can talk it out. We had a good reason. We were scared. We didn't know what was in these caves.
Okay. Do you fine gentlemen want to have a conversation with my friend, or with my fists? You may choose.
I kind of tug on Gargantius and move him up to the front. All right, let's see if you've got any tricks.
So, do you guys know how to never mind, I'm not going to lead in with that. How do you do?
They seem taken aback by the unusual approach at which this person is, addressing them when after the whole thing. They're clearly confused. But even with that confusion, which is blatantly obvious, they hold formation and, Harbeck and Brieg, and Gargantius, you three guys have some knowledge of military fighting, like actual military warfare, not just, barroom brawling and stuff. Harbeck, you've seen, rank and file monks, warrior monks, who fight as units. Gargantius, you grew up and had contact with dwarven soldiery, and Brieg, while you hate to remember it, you've obviously seen the effectiveness of the Elves of Thakon. These guys are trained, like properly trained. They will fight as a unit. They will. It's a completely different fighting style. It is terribly effective, typically in these sorts of enclosed areas where numbers don't really mean that you have much of an advantage. And while they're taken aback, they're not breaking stance. They're not breaking rank. They're just obviously very, very well drilled. But we'll find out what happens with Sir Gargantius and his words, and Harbeck and his Stein. We'll find out what happens next on the next
these
episode
words
of
from our
Legends of Valcia.
sponsors.
His was a
So we're
less
going to
sneaky
take
wordy
a
attack.
shot. Yeah, this is a much less sneaky wordy attack. This is a wordy charge more than a wordy attack.
Quick, they're confused. Get them.
This is like a verbal maneuvering here.
I think
So
that
if you're watching on Twitch, we'll be back in about 3 minutes. If you're watching on YouTube, the next episode will be up very shortly. We'll see you next time.
I think that my verbal stealth metaphor was apt and useful, by the way.
And might be used again.